You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next is the September 5th meeting of the Michigan City Human Rights Commission. You can find more information for this meeting at www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Good evening, everyone. How are you?
Fine.
Good, good. All righty. I'm going to start off with roll call. And I guess I will do that.
List.
I don't know if I have all of the new names.
Yeah, I'm looking for a list. Those that you can go through.
Oh, yeah. Dennis Carroll.
Here.
Bonnie Dempsey.
Here.
Okay. Got Larry. I don't have Tyra. I don't have Nancy. I don't have the other names. How about if I say raise your hand and introduce yourself? Starting with you, young lady.
Jessica O'Brien, I'm here.
Oh, I forgot I'm hearing you. All right.
Greg Coulter.
Yes.
Sojourner Atwater. Jamie Lawrence.
All right. That's one way of getting it done. We're going to start off with the approval of last month's minutes. Do you have any questions concerning last month's minutes?
Did I ever get a copy?
No, I don't have a copy either. Since we do not have an executive director anymore, we probably didn't get the minutes.
This is what she sent
Oh,
me.
you have minutes? No, that's not minutes.
That's all she sent me.
No, that's the notice of the executive committee. But, so we don't have minutes, so we'll have to just wait until
Those
we
come in.
get some minutes or get some prepared or something. But,
Right. So we'll go on from there. Finance report.
I do not have a finance report.
You have nothing?
I have nothing.
All right. Executive director's report.
okay, I guess I'll talk here if the chair allows it, and we could just combine the executive director's report and the staff attorney's report. As you all probably know, Diane Gonzalez resigned from our board. She left. She did not give us any notice, and I found out from Tanisha calling me and telling me. So we have been without an executive director since that happened, which was, I don't even remember the date, but it was.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it was 2 to 3 weeks ago that she resigned. I heard that she went back to her previous position with the county, and I hope that it goes well for her. What I suggested to Diana was that she hold an executive committee meeting, and I understand that she did that. So she will be reporting on the executive committee meeting here shortly. I was not in attendance, so I don't know exactly what I did, but I got a report from Tanisha, and Tanisha George has been very helpful again. She prepared the agenda for today, sent out the notice for today, and we'll see what happens. So I will wait until we get an executive committee report on what the committee decided to do. But as you know, the full board, which here today, will have to agree or disagree with what the committee did, and then we'll take that action to begin a search for a new executive director. I had 2 thoughts that we could, if the board wanted to offer the position to people that we previously interviewed and previously sent notices out to, they could do that. I know that the board had someone in mind the last time around that was not chosen by the mayor. So we could do that, or we could start the entire, it's been a while now, so I don't know whether any of those people would still be interested in the job. Or we could just start the whole process over again, post the notice, and start the interviewing process with the executive committee and do the whole thing again. Now, you recall that the last time it took quite a while to get that process done. In fact, we had 2 trips, 2 sets of groups of people that applied. So it took a while. So we may or may not have an executive director for some time here. I don't think that we have anything pressing going on. We had one case that I was aware of that involved a Michigan City company. There was a complaint that was filed, and there already was an answer, so I don't think there's anything immediately pressing that has to be done. And there may have been one other case. Tanisha tells me there may have been one other case, but I never discussed with that case with Diane, so I don't know what else is going on. It's my suggestion that if we can't get an executive director here in the next month or 2 months, that we have to send those cases down to Indianapolis, because there's no one here to handle those cases. And it's really, I felt bad the last time around imposing on Tanisha. She has a job, and it's a different job now, and I feel bad about imposing on her, so we certainly can't ask her to investigate these cases and go through that whole process. So we'll see what the board wants to do here today about the executive director, and then we'll proceed accordingly. But I have been in contact with Tanisha several times, and we will try to keep things running. As far as the scholarship money, I think that's all been completed. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's all been done. But hard to say since we don't have the finance report, so hard to say whether those checks have gone out or not. That's the only thing that I can think of that absolutely had to be done. So that's all that I have. I'm happy to answer questions, but that's pretty much all that I know. Maybe it would be best to turn it over to Diane. She could tell us who was at the executive committee meeting last week and what they decided to do, and then you guys could ask questions and come to some decision as to how you want to proceed. But I'm very thankful that at least we have a quorum here today, because I was worried day after Labor Day and I didn't see very many cars in the parking lot. But so thank you all for being here. So I'll turn it over to Diana.
All right, well, we did have the meeting, and it went well. There were several suggestions made, and so I would like to see how all of you feel about some of the 2 suggestions. The one was that we get in contact with all of those that were interested in the position via telephone and see if they would still be interested in that position, and have them come in and interview just them. The other is to start all over again, and that just takes such a enormous amount of time and effort that we would be getting new individuals in. So for us, the executive committee, our thought was just to make the calls to those that have been interviewed, that were interviewed at our last meeting, to see if they're still, if they're working now or if they're still interested in the position. So from all of you, we'd like to have your suggestions.
Before we start that, Diana, can you tell us who was at the executive committee meeting? And can you tell us what the vote was?
It was Bunny, and it was Sojourner.
And Mary Ellen.
And Mary Ellen, was she there also?
Yes.
Okay. And what the vote was there a unanimous vote to
Yes, it
do
was.
this?
It
Okay.
was a unanimous vote.
Okay, go ahead.
All right.
Proceed.
Pastor Carroll?
Yeah, I was, I don't know if you'd have to make a motion on that or not, to go with the applications that we still have on file for those that were interested before. I think that we should find out if they're still interested or not. That is my take on that.
Let me make one other comment if I can jump in. because the normal procedure when there's a vacancy at the city is that they post notice. So I don't think that we can just go back and look at people who are interested. That's
That
what
was the
Diana said the
question.
first time. What she said the second time is people that we interviewed. So people that we interviewed, they got the notices and we've got their files and we interviewed all of them. And so I think we probably would be okay with if we decided to offer it to one of those individuals. You understand what I'm saying? As opposed to, we can't open it up to just anybody unless we go ahead and start the whole process again and advertise it again. If you guys want to open it up to other people than those that we interviewed, then we need to post the notice again and start that whole process again. Because I don't want to get into kind of legal complications here with if we don't do things properly.
I have two questions. I'm relatively new to the commission, so number one, can you explain the process to me on how that works as far as what weight the commission has as far as the final hiring on that?
Sure.
And number two, what's the, how long has the time frame been that these people were interested in the position?
Well, it was before, it was when Diana took the
How
job.
long ago was that though?
How long ago was that? I don't remember.
Not even a year.
4 months ago.
I know it was not a year, but I don't remember
It's been since the
Yeah, it's
first.
been that
how
long.
many months it was. It hasn't been very long.
2023.
But it's still been multiple months. It's been at least 6 months.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they would be interested or not. But you made a good point as to telling you what the process is. The ordinance says, so we have to go by what the ordinance says. The ordinance says the executive director shall be hired by the commission, which is all of you, with the advice and consent of the mayor. So those last two words are very important words. So if the mayor does not consent to the person that we choose, we get somebody else, or we have to start the process over again, which is what happened the last time around. So if the mayor doesn't consent to who we choose, it doesn't do any good. We have to start over again or choose somebody else.
But the hiring doesn't take place without the support of the commission?
Correct, because the ordinance says that the executive director is hired by the commission.
Thank you
So-
for clarifying.
Yeah, I have no idea whether the previous applicants would, or interviewees would be interested. I think Tanisha told me she may have talked to one of them, and I don't.
Well, that was why I suggested that I make the telephone calls to see if they would be interested.
Yeah, I think that would be a good way to go about doing it if you decided to go that route, or if you wanted to just start the whole thing over again, eliminate the phone calls and eliminate all that other stuff and just try to interview people over again.
I think we had, the committee had decided that we wanted the phone calls to be made to applicants we had previously interviewed. And then if they expressed an interest, then we would ask Tatanisha as Human Relations or Resources Director to set up the appointments and such, assuming that was the right.
And then interview them again, is that what you're?
No, but
What do you mean set up appointments?
well, if we have 3 people who say they're interested, wouldn't we have to talk to them again? What happens if
That'd be an interview, yeah. that would be-
Yeah, and Tatanisha would set up the interviews for us.
So it's your recollection that that's what the committee
That's what
decided?
the committee, is that correct? So John, is that what you can recall?
Because it had been such a long time, and they may not be interested anymore, they may have found other jobs. And if that's the case, I think we said if we're not able to get any applicants out of that, then we would open it up.
And then we'd have to post the notice and do the whole thing again. I kind of highly doubt that we would get three of the previous people that we interviewed, but I don't know. I had to look and see if I even have notes. I think what we did is we ranked them. We're not going to go through them here today. But if I look, I can find my notes because I attended all those meetings too, but,
Diane had some notes and we did rank them and she was gonna just go through them, just
just to see who might be interested.
to see if they're interested. You never know, they might have got another job and still
Yeah,
now
I would-
wanna
yeah, I would-
change their
I would think
mind.
so. Yeah, I would
Maybe
think
they
so.
don't like their current job and would be happy to
Yep.
interview again.
Any other questions, concerns?
I guess I have one concern. Is there any point to us meeting if we don't have a director? Can we still conduct business? Or?
Oh, yeah, we're conducting business today. Otherwise, if we couldn't conduct business, then we couldn't proceed here, and we couldn't do anything. If we didn't have, that's why I said, thank you for the quorum, because if we didn't have a quorum, we couldn't take any action. So yes, we will continue to meet, and we will continue to proceed without an executive director. We did before, just normally Tanisha had sat in. And I didn't know whether Tanisha was gonna sit in today or not. But yeah, we will continue to have meetings, we will continue to proceed. The only thing is, those things that require a substantial amount of work, like those complaints, they would have to go downstate. And I don't know whether people will be happy with that, the complainants and respondents will be happy with that, but we really don't have any choice.
There's nothing at a county level that can take that and keep it more local?
No, yeah, not really. There's some type of a commission in LaPorte, but it's not. At one point, they wanted to merge with us because we were running way more efficiently, and so no, it would have to go to Indianapolis. And all I know is that they are very backlogged too. I mean, people complain because it takes so long for them, but that's, what can you do? There's really nothing else you can do. So if there's no other questions, then what we would need is a motion to either accept what the executive committee decided to do, which you heard it, and we will repeat it again if it needs to be repeated, or we should start the whole interview process again, or we should take some other course of action that you want to take.
So if we did the calling out to people that have already applied, and then none of them want to apply, then we have to wait another month from today?
No, we could just tell Tanisha to go ahead and run the application, because there'd be no reason to, we don't need to vote on, we could just vote on that today and say that if none of the 3 or 4, whatever we had listed last time, if they are not interested, just make that part of your motion to contact Tanisha and have her put the ad in.
I think these are the ones that we have like 4 of them. 4 or 5 of them that were previous.
We're not gonna go over names.
Right?
Questions, if there are no questions, motion.
I'll make a motion that we contact previous
I second that.
applicants.
Okay, did we contact previous applicants?
To see if they're still interested, and if that fails, to have Tanisha post the opening,
And start the process again.
start the process.
There's a second?
Second.
Pastor Carroll?
Second.
Okay.
All those in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay,
None?
motion carries.
All right.
So Diana, you're gonna call the individuals?
This
Ask if
week,
they're
I
interested?
can do that.
Okay. And then if they're not, then we'll contact Tanisha.
All right, will do.
So I'll throw it back to you and we can go on with committee reports.
Right. Okay, we'll start off with Finance Committee. No report. Development Fundraising Committee. See nothing there. Education Committee. Nothing there. Community Engagement Committee. Nothing there. All right. So we have none of the committee members here.
Okay.
So we can go on from there. All right. Any old business? No old business. New business.
Yeah, I see we have executive director down here, but we obviously just talked about that. I think that should have been at the top.
Commissioner comments.
I was watching the Board of Works this morning.
Pardon?
I was watching the Board of Works meeting this morning.
Yeah.
And Don, can you explain what what is being done about these signs? The ADA signs that
Oh.
need, yeah. I just thought it might be of interest
Yeah.
as disability person, Chairman.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. So what it is, it's, well, I guess we can call them ADA signs, but I just call them information signs. But
Yeah, I
by
think
the stoplights.
somebody called it ADA in the meeting, I don't know.
Yeah, well, when, to be on the Board of Works, you gotta fill out a application. So I filled it out, and when I did that, I just put ADA
Oh,
sign.
okay.
But then I came back and I explained to the board what I meant. So what they are, where you have the push button controls for the stoplights, for the pedestrians to go this way, that way. But right above that push button, there's that little information sign that said, if you want to go this way, push this button. If you want to go that way, you push that button. And the reason I brought that up is because a lot of the signs are getting faded. You can't read the signs, so they just need to be an inventory taken of all the signs in town. And it's not a big task. I mean, you just ride up and down and look at the intersections where the stoplights are at and where those poles are and black poles are at, and with the buttons. And you take an inventory, you come back, you order them, get them put on. Street department can put them on the signs. A lot of times we like to go out for contractors. You don't need that. I mean, you got plenty of guys to do that kind of people to do that kind of work. So, yeah, that's what I was.
So I'd just like to
Bring it
thank you
up.
for bringing that up.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I just like things to look right. Right and nice is what I like to see. I don't know. That's that Polish heritage in me or what? That was just what I was brought up.
No public comments?
We do have one, sorry, from the public back there. There's somebody back there, I don't
Let's
know.
pass it.
Oh, okay. Can't see you. All right.
Excuse me.
All right, no further comments? All right, we are adjourned.
Yeah, our next meeting is set for October the 3rd.
Yes.
If we need to set an executive committee meeting up in the meantime, contact Tanisha and have her set the notice out. As before, any commissioner is always invited to any committee meeting, so you don't have to be on that committee meeting, but this is obviously a pretty important thing to get our new executive director hired. That's all that I can think of. So October 3rd, we'll see you guys then, if not before.
All right.
Motion to adjourn?
Got a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
I don't think we needed a motion to adjourn, but it was always, Nancy had always wanted one and I
Oh,
had
did you? That's where it's from? Okay.
But I'd be happy to entertain one.
I guess she should have.